Scary. It's actually Carey. Carey's my married name. And when I got married, I went back to work and everybody told me I'd become Mrs. Scary because my first name's Sue and my second name's Carey, and S. Carey is Scary, which I thought was quite interesting. My husband's name is Scott, so we're actually Mr. and Mrs. Scary, which is great for Halloween. It doesn't really have any other applications. You can't use it to name a business, so you can't call yourself Scary Cakes, can you? No? Scary driving lessons, that doesn't work either. There are lots of scary things that don't work. So we thought, when we had our son, we thought we'd break the chain of scaries, because it's quite worrying. So we were going to name him Harry after my husband's late father, till someone told me that was Harry Carey. Slightly unfortunate. My mum's name was Rosalind, and she went out with a bloke called John Soul, and we quickly realised they couldn't get married, because if they did, she'd be Mrs. Arsehole. Also slightly unfortunate. I've had lots of jobs over the years, and one of them, I worked for an IT company, and I used to be that person who you'd come and see when you were going on a course, and I'd give you your name badge. And this woman walked in very purposefully one day and said, "I'm replacing my colleague, so you won't have my name badge." I said, "All right, love, I can write you one. What's your name?" "Pat. Pat Mycock." Well, I'd rather not, actually. I've had other jobs as well. And I used to run a call centre for a cosmetic surgery company. And that's also quite an interesting job. We have a free phone number, we deal with rude parts of the body. The school holidays are very tedious. Lots of children phoning you up thinking they're being hilarious. But we used to get all sorts of questions, and people would say, you know, "How much is a boob job?" And you'd say, "Well, it's about £5,000. And they'd say, "Is that just for one?" "No, love, it's buy one, get one free this week." And then everyone's got a website, haven't they? And you could tick the procedures that we offered, and we'd phone you back. And some people on a Friday night or a Saturday night might have had one or two drinks, and they'd tick every single procedure that we did. And I'd think, well, good, but we're not miracle workers, are we? But the thing that used to confuse me the most is, you know, you can have cosmetic surgery on finance. So I get the fact that I've got a car on a PCP, so technically I don't actually own it. And I don't actually own a house because I've got a mortgage on that, but how do you not own parts of your own body? How does that even work? I mean, we live in a time of uncertainty, don't we? What happens if you have your boob job or your liposuction on finance and you lose your job and you can't make the repayments? How does repossession work? Does somebody break into your house in the middle of the night and crawl up the stairs and pop one boob as a warning? Wake up feeling all deflated? Are you standing next to the photocopier at work and someone injects your fat back into your arse? I mean, say you lend your other half the money for cosmetic surgery and then you break up. What, does he get visitation rights once every 2 weeks? So I'll have a bit of a squeeze on them, thanks love. Not quite sure how it works. As you can tell, I'm not from the southwest, but I moved to the southwest about 8 years ago, and I've been working really hard to fit in. It's not going so well. Apparently the accent's still quite strong. So I've done lots of things. I live in Taunton in Somerset. It's quite nice round there. Taunton's the county town of Somerset though, so it thinks it's a bit above itself. It's better than Bridgewater. It looks down its nose on Bridgewater because it used to smell, apparently. I mean, I wouldn't know. So I've been doing lots of things, and one of the things that I've done to fit in is I've started volunteering with the guide dogs, because it's nice to put something back, isn't it? And I made a couple of friends at work, and they said, "So what were you doing at the weekend?" I said to them, "Well, I was out guide dogging." "How does that work then?" they said to me. I said, "Oh, what do you mean, how does it work? You stand there with a big bucket." They went, "No, love, I don't think you know what you're talking about. What, were you like narrating or something?" So, other things about me that not many people know, I've been run over 3 times. Technically though, only one of them's actually my fault. The first time I got run over, it was standard, you know, actually walking out into the street, car runs you over. I was a student actually, it was a long time ago. And the poor guy got the two of us with one car. All we were doing was going from the Student Union bar to the Valentine's Ball. And we were absolutely blind drunk. That's why it wasn't our fault, you know. We were blind drunk. Stepped out into the road, car hit me, swung me off down the road, poor old Gaynor went flying over the top of it. And this guy says to us, he says, "I'll take you to hospital," which I thought was very nice of him, you know, he had run us over after all. And he said, but I was on my way to pick up my young son, right, concentrate on the word young, right, my young son from Scouts. So it was about 10 o'clock at night, so I'm going to have to go and pick him up. And I thought, well, I suppose that's fair enough, isn't it? So we went to pick up the 18-year-old adventure scout on the side of the road, and then he dropped us in the car park of the hospital and drove off. The second time I got run over, non-standard, it was in the swimming pool. Now, it is technically possible to get run over in the swimming pool. Since the pandemic, you have to book your lane where I go swimming, and you go swimming, and they've got a slow lane, a medium lane, and a fast lane. And I'm in the right lane for me, but there's a lot of professional knobheads that are not in the right lane. And if you go lane swimming, you will come across these people. They're generally older, bald men. No offence to any older, bald men out there. Hopefully you won't be going swimming soon. But me and my son, we go once a week, every Wednesday morning, and we've got this guy in there, we nicknamed him Professional Knobhead, because he's completely in the wrong fucking lane all the time. Anyway, a bigger knobhead came in, and we had to downgrade him to amateur knobhead, because he was trumped by a bigger knobhead. And there we were, just minding our own business, swimming along. I'm inside the criteria for my lane, which is very important to me. I'm a very rule-driven person, you know. And he just swam over the top of me because I was in his way. And he was so hairy. It was like being assaulted by a dog or something. It was awful. I mean, it was like a one-man filtration system. He was so hairy, I felt totally violated. It was awful. I'm not sure I should tell you about the third time I got run over. I suppose technically it was the only one that was actually my fault. Anybody remember the band at E17 and the guy there, the lead singer, he ran himself over with his own car? Well, I had a kind of similar incident to that. He ran himself over, and I don't believe his story at all, because he said he was so full from 3 baked potatoes. Who the fuck eats 3 baked potatoes? That's how you know the story is horseshit, don't you? Nobody eats 3 baked potatoes in a row, not unless you're on The Simpsons and you're in a fucking competition. Anyway, and he said he felt so full, he had to open the car door to lean out to be sick, and he fell out and ran himself over. Now, I don't believe that for a second. When I ran myself over with my car, it was much simpler than that. I've got a Mazda. I bought it to fit in, right, because where I live in Taunton, it's very posh. Well, it's posh for me anyway. I spent about the first 2 years afraid to open my mouth to anybody because of my accent. So I thought I'd buy an SUV and fit in properly. And I live on a new build estate where they mistakenly think you're going to use your garage for parking, so everyone parks on the road, so it's a bit like doing a slalom every day to get out of the estate. And I'm driving a lovely big, I've nicknamed the car the Mazda Menopause because it's erratic at the best of times. I'm going through the menopause myself, so I know what it's like to be erratic. Anyway, so I'm driving the car around the corner and I see this brand new VW, also an SUV. Someone's out trumping me with their SUVs, coming towards me, reversing, and I think, oh, they'll see me in a minute. They don't see me, and I carry on, oh, they'll see me in a minute. Fucking hell, there's no one in the driver's seat. So I think I'm going to do something heroic. I'm going to stop this car. I don't know why I thought that. The next series of events happens in a split second, but it'll take me a minute to explain them. So you have to bear in mind all this is going through my head in a split second. I'm a menopausal woman. I'm erratic at the best of times. So I've got an electric car. It's a hybrid thingy, and you know they're all automatic, aren't they? So I see the car coming towards me, I put my hand on the horn, And quick as a flash, I flipped my car into park. I've already got the door open, my feet are outside the car, and I suddenly realised I'd put the fucking thing into reverse. And so then the car's got momentum, and I'm losing my grip, and I'm having to pull myself up, and I run over my own feet with my own wheel. And all this time, I've still got my hand on the horn. Anyway, I managed to get it into park. And then you have that horrible moment, you know, when you've done something really embarrassing, that horrible moment where you look round and you're like, fucking hell, who's seen that? I'll never recover from this, not on this estate. So it was quite embarrassing. I did recover from it in the end. So those are my story about being run over 3 times, and I think you'll agree, technically only the last one could possibly be my fault. And you've been a lovely audience, but just before I go, just going to leave you with one final thought from my days in cosmetic surgery. And that is, as a nation, we spend more money on cosmetic surgery than we spend on Alzheimer's research. Did you know that? Outrageous, isn't it? Do you know what it really means, though? In 30 years' time, there's going to be a load of old people in nursing homes with pert boobs and hard-ons and no fucking idea what to do with it.